Have you ever seen someone who just always seems to have great things flowing into their life? Like they're always winning something, or they're always getting attention from people, or they're always just having great things happening to them and wondering, how do they do that? Why are they so lucky? I'm going to tell you about 5 simple habits that you can incorporate into your everyday life to become the highest vibration of yourself and start attracting all of those great things into your life as well. When we raise our vibration, we allow amazing high vibrational things to flow into our lives. Anything from finding the perfect parking spot every time you go to the store to the best career opportunity you could have dreamt of just finding its way to you and falling into your lap, something you didn't even think was possible. You can incorporate seemingly easy habits into your everyday life to help permanently raise your vibration and radiate magnetic, abundant energy. And I'm not talking about these big, connect with your higher self and all of these really, really big techniques that you'll see spiritual people talk about. Those are obviously helpful too, but I'm talking about some really, really simple things that you can incorporate every single day that eventually you're not even going to realize you're doing, but they are going to make a big difference and they're going to start coming naturally to you. The first habit I have for you is creating a healthy lifestyle. So the first thing that I did when I went on this journey was I cut out alcohol altogether. Obviously, I'm not saying that's what you have to do, but I'm saying that helped me tremendously. That was what kickstarted this entire journey for me. I work in a bar. I'm a server and a bartender, and alcohol is everywhere. So I was seeing how it impacted those around me. I was seeing people in my personal life being affected by it, and it's just not the life that I wanted. I was seeing the effects of it and how it brings you down spiritually. Your vibration comes down, and it just wasn't what I wanted. So cutting out alcohol was huge. That is such a big thing to raise your vibration because it is a depressant. So it is going to lower your vibration. You might feel good while you're drinking it, but we all know that nobody feels good afterwards. So not drinking alcohol and becoming super, super mindful about what you're putting into your body. So we all know it's good to eat healthy. That's not a secret. You should be eating your fruits and your vegetables. But it goes a lot deeper than that. Processed foods have so many chemicals and byproducts in them that actually do lower your vibration, and they're so bad for you. So to raise your vibration, it's really important to try and, limit how much of the processed junk you're eating. So if you have an option to have a healthier choice or, an alternative, try and choose that. Make better choices that way because that honestly makes a big difference. The better you feel, the higher your vibration is going to be. So that comes with putting good things into your body, being mindful about what you're putting into your body. And along with that, water is the best thing you can put into your body. So the more I drank water, the better I felt. And again, the better you feel, the higher your vibration. Along with that, I got into a routine. Personally, I got up earlier, went to bed earlier, and stuck with it every day. Was super consistent. My body thanked me for that. I was staying up really, really late and getting up late because it was harder to wake up early, But starting your day really early, it just feels so good. You feel like you're getting so much more done when you're able to start your day early. And at that, starting your day off on the right foot. So for me personally, I get up and the first thing I do is yoga, and that kick starts my day. It gets me awake and energized and feeling good and immediately raises my vibration. So creating those healthy habits and being consistent. So it doesn't have to obviously be get up and do yoga. That's just what works for me, but maybe it's going to the gym or joining a Pilates class or going for walks in the woods, things like that are things that can help raise your vibration and, like I said, make you feel good so your vibe is higher. And being really, really consistent is the key to that. The next habit that I have is altering the music that I listen to. So I had, my favorite artists, my favorite songs, and even though a lot of them might be upbeat, when you really sit and listen to the words, that can be something that you don't realize how it affects you. And they can be really, really low vibrational. It's been proven that music affects our brainwaves. And so listening to songs that are not helping you raise your vibration by being positive, upbeat. I'm not sitting here saying you have to listen to these happy songs, but eliminating the ones that are sad, depressing. Yes, when you're feeling sad, you might feel connected to those, but it's just going to lower your vibration even more. So it's really important to watch the music that you're listening to. It at first kind of sucked because I had my favorite artists, but they were singing or rapping or whatever about being sad, essentially, and those aren't things that I wanted to bring into my life, and what you surround yourself with is what's going to come into your life. So I changed the music that I listened to. I went on TikTok and found a lot of really good artists that actually create music around manifestation that is really, really good. A lot of them, have the hertz set at certain tones that are beneficial for you, and all of these other, there's really, really good options out there. So adjusting the music that I listened to made a really big impact on me. And we all know that feeling of when you listen to that song that really gets you going and you're just in a good mood. You can feel your vibe raise immediately. So I created playlists for myself that really helped me raise my vibration, got me, in those elevated moods. The more you can get yourself in those elevated moods, the better you're going to be when it comes to raising your vibration. So be spiritually intentional with the music that you're listening to. And that's not to say you have to listen to some hippie, vibey, whatever. Listen to the genre of music that you like. Just be mindful about the rhythm, the lyrics, and how it affects your body. How do you feel when you're listening to it? Does it make you feel sad? Does it make you think about times in your life that weren't, happy and good? You don't want to be pulling yourself back to those times. So if that's what that music is reminding you of, it shouldn't be something on your playlist. The third habit that I have can be very difficult. I did this gradually, and I think that was the best route of action for me. Like I said, these are daily things, so I don't suggest just doing this like that, but maybe that's what works for you. But it is cutting certain people out of your life. So really take a few days to be mindful around your friends, your family, about how these people speak, act, and are around you, how they make you feel. Are they draining your energy? Do you feel tired after talking to them? Are they constantly talking about negative sides of things? Are they bringing you down? Are they criticizing you? At work, are the people that you associate with constantly gossiping? Because these are all things that are low vibrational, and you don't want to be surrounding yourself with that. And when you remove people from your life, and you don't have to do a dramatic, we're not friends anymore, I'm done, but distancing yourself, pulling yourself back, not engaging with the behavior. When you remove these people and kind of distance yourself, you will find that the right people do end up gravitating towards you. And the people who fill your cup up and are high energy, and you could just feel good when you're around them, feel energized, and they're, they have good habits, and they want to see you succeed. These are the type of people that you should be surrounding yourself with. And when you sit and kind of just be not silent, but kind of take a back seat in the conversations for a few days, kind of just observe everybody, it's kind of surprising some of the people that you thought were really good influences in your life really are not, when it comes to energy, spirituality, like how they make you feel, for your soul. Like a lot of them, for me, was like really, really good friends of mine that I'm still friends with. I'm not going to sit here and say that I cut them out completely, because, we don't need to do that. That's also creating toxic negative behavior by just saying, oh no, I'm done with you. But I did distance myself. I did pull myself back because I don't want to be surrounded by some of that energy. It can be really difficult when it's family members as well. I know that I did have to distance myself from some family members because the energy was just draining me and not making me my best self. And when I really took a back seat and kind of just observed the things that they were saying, the energy that they were putting out, how I felt after being around them, I felt like I was afraid to say certain things. I was afraid to, offend them. These are not things that you should feel around the people in your life. Obviously, You can't avoid certain people if they're coworkers or, acquaintances or whatever. But the really close people in your life should not make you feel like that. You should be surrounded by people who elevate you, who make you feel good, who make you feel like you can do anything, who want to see you thrive. These are the people that you need to have in your life. And if they're not going to empower you, or if you're telling a story about yourself and then they always, flip it about them, or everything's just kind of always negative and they always see the negative side of things, distance yourself a little bit. Create that distance. If they ask to hang out, you don't have to hang out. Just kind of back off a little bit and, say, oh no, I'm busy today, and that's okay. Eventually, you'll find new people. You'll find your people who want to see you succeed, and that is so important. And even if you have to be alone for a little bit, it's better to be alone where you've got yourself and you can support yourself and give yourself that good energy, rather than having people suck that energy out of you. So even if it means being alone for a little bit, know that your people will come when they're meant to find you. You will have your village, but you gotta create room for them first. Next, I have gratitude. Gratitude is, it sounds kind of basic, right? Like, oh yeah, you should be grateful. But I'm talking like in the smallest of ways. When I find a really good parking spot, I just say, oh, thank you, universe. Like, small things of gratitude constantly. And obviously you should be giving big gratitude as well. You should be constantly grateful for everything. But giving gratitude in every aspect of your life will put you in that state that is going to help you attract more things into your life. The more you're grateful for, the more that you're going to attract. Versus when you're constantly in a state of lack, when you're like, I need to have more money, I need to have a better job, I wish I had more of this. State of lack is a very low vibration. And when you need more, like constantly are needing more things, then you're going to attract more of constantly needing more things. So being grateful all of the time. And I like to find new ways to be grateful. Sometimes if I take a long drive, I thank the universe for helping me get home safely. Or if I get done with work a little bit early, I thank the universe for helping me have an early day. When I get my bills paid early, I thank the universe for that. Finding things every day to be grateful for. And that's actually something that I've incorporated with my children. So every night at bedtime, they tell me something that they're grateful for, because there's always something to be grateful for. And the more that you can find to be grateful for, the more that you'll see there is to be grateful for. And it's such a beautiful thing. But even if it's the smallest things to be grateful for, food in your fridge, clothes in your closet, something small, you have something to be grateful for at all times. So sometimes it's helpful to make a list, or I like to start my day by finding 10 things that I'm grateful for right off the bat, because that puts me in that elevated state right away, starts my day off great, and then I can carry the rest of my day out in that high vibe state. The final habit that I have for you is kindness. Seems a little silly, but there's a big difference between being kind and being nice. Being nice is being nice with the intentional or unintentional expectation of something in return. This can look minor or really big. So, you can maybe cover somebody's shift at work, and that's a nice thing to do, but you're expecting them to cover one for you, right? Or in a relationship, you can, and this is one that I personally went through. I thought I was a kind person. I would do all of these things for my now ex-partner. I was constantly cleaning, constantly cooking, constantly burning myself out, trying to make them happy and trying to show them how much I love them. And I thought I was just being, kind. But deep down, I was really expecting something in return. I was expecting some form of reassurance or love in return. And I didn't even realize that I was doing that. So I was really just being nice, So being kind is truly doing nice things for the sake of doing them, with no expectations of anything in return besides just wanting to do something nice for somebody. And the more that you put that kindness out there, the more that it's going to spread. And I know that that's kind of like a cliche thing, you know, everybody says, oh, be kind. But truly, when you do something kind, and you can just see how happy it makes the person, or even if you don't, like, it just feels so good. And it raises your vibration almost immediately. I mean, when I do something kind, like, I immediately feel good. I try to make it a point to do something kind every day. And that's another thing I instill in my children is, at the end of the day, they tell me something they're grateful for and something kind that they did that day. Because it's so important to spread kindness. And with that, you will, immediately raise your vibration. You will feel so empowered. You know, me and my kids, we try to do something kind every single day. Because it's fun. It becomes a fun thing to do. The other thing that goes with kindness is being kind to yourself. This is one that almost everybody struggles with. When you sit and really pay attention to the way that you speak to yourself, especially when you do something wrong or make a mistake or something like that, you will notice that you're probably not very kind to yourself. And if it's not something that you would say to your best friend or your children or your partner, you shouldn't be saying it to yourself, because that is going to lower your vibration. Being kind to yourself is so important. You should be your biggest cheerleader. You should be loving and praising yourself every day. So even if you make a mistake, it's okay. We're humans. It's life. It's fine. Relax. It's okay. There's no need to be perfect. We're not robots. So being kind to yourself is probably one of the most important things that you can do in order to raise your vibration. All in all, you'll be able to feel if something feels high vibe or not. If it feels good, if it feels like it makes you happy, energized, you should be doing that. If it feels like it's draining you, if it feels like it's exhausting you, or just doesn't feel good in general, then that's not something that's raising your vibration and not something that you should be doing in your life. So I hope that you were able to gain something from this video today. Let me know in the comments below if you try any of these or if you are able to apply them to your life. I would love to know how it works out for you. Other than that, I will see you in the next one. Bye!